So Bitcoin has been moving up. It did have a little bit of a pullback today, but basically traded sideways from yesterday. But as it's moving up, what is MSTY and MSTR doing? Are they moving up, trading sideways, or are they moving down? We'll take a look at that. And I also want to take a look at AMDY because AMD has just been on a rocket ship and it jumped again today. So we want to take a look at AMD just to see where it's currently at, along with SMCY, because both of those jumped up huge today. And we'll finish it off taking a look at CONY, ULTY, and HOOY, because like I said in my last video, I am still looking to be able to buy some shares, but if those are moving up, I might have missed my chance. Hello, my friends, this is Legend. So, with the market moving up, this has just been a fun ride, right? Bitcoin's moving up, which is pushing our MSTY and MSTR up. But the overall market is also moving up because SPY has just been on a run. I think some of it is just because a lot of these stocks have just been on a rocket ship, especially AMD. It jumped, and we're going to take a look at that. But let's start off here with Bitcoin. Now, we had this line drawn at 79.5, and we were hoping to get a candle to open and close above that 79.5 because it was running through it the other day. So we can't consider that as a open and close above it. But yesterday we did get that candle, and that's a green candle with an open and close above that 79.5. And today we still moved up. Now it is indeed a red candle, but that low is definitely higher than the previous low. And that high is definitely higher than the previous high. So we are still indeed trending up on Bitcoin, even though we did have a little pullback. But that's to be expected whenever you're having a run like this. A lot of times you'll see a stock, it'll want to cool off a little bit, maybe trade sideways, maybe even pull down a little bit just to stop out some of the people who might have that stop loss set, kick them out right before taking back off. Now that's not guaranteed, but that does happen. But with this move up, let's take a look at MSTY. And here we are on MSTY. There's that line we had drawn in, and that was that support line that we were hoping we can keep. And so far, we are keeping it. Now we do have a green candle today, but it did end up opening and closing slightly under yesterday's open and close. But again, that has to do a lot with the fact that Bitcoin did move down a little today. So that does cause our MSTY here to fluctuate a little bit toward the downside. But that's okay. We still got a green candle, and I'm hoping to see this thing continue moving up. And I think it will if Bitcoin can continue with that move on up, because we're sitting at that 81.4K on Bitcoin. So I would love to see MSTY moving on up as well. But overall, it basically traded sideways. We only were down 6 cents or a 0.22%. So I don't really consider that much of a move, and I would consider that more of a trading sideways. And you'll notice here on MSTR, it looks very similar. There's that line that we do have on MSTR, and that's roughly around that 180. We did open and close above the 180, but we did run that wick down through that line. So they are coming down to test that line, right? It did come down, test it, but then pop back up. I'm hoping that's a good thing, and we can continue moving this thing on up and use this 180 as a good support line. But we'll see how Bitcoin runs, because if it can run, MSTR should move up. And if MSTR moves up, MSTY's moving up. But the one I really want to take a look at is AMD. Check out AMD. This was a huge pop-up today. What a pop-up, right? We closed yesterday at 355.26, and we ended up opening today at 409.49. That's crazy. Just the move on today, it moved up 18.6%, which equates to $66.13 on that move from yesterday. That's insane, right? Well, if AMD moved up 18%, what did AMD move? Did it get capped out around 3% and not get to capture all of this move up on that price? Or did AMD capture a lot of that move up? Now, there's only one way to find out, and that's to take a look at the chart. And here we are on AMD, and looky. Look at that huge pop up on AMDY. That is insane, right? We never saw this kind of move on any of these high yield ETFs. If we had a pop up like that a year ago, AMDY would have got capped out around 3%. It would have moved up, but it would not have captured the percentage of that move like it is nowadays. Because as you can see on AMDY, it captured 15.85%. It almost captured every bit of that move up that AMD moved. That is great. That is what we have been waiting for, right? We've been waiting to see these YieldMax stocks or ETFs move up with the underlying. So AMDY moved up $7 today. I mean, just in one day, it moved up $7. And that's in the price of the stock, right? So we're earning distributions here on AMDY of 94 cents last week. And I am very curious to see what we're going to earn this week. Do you think we'll end up breaking $1? I don't know. I think we might. This thing has just been on fire. So right now, we are getting our cake and being able to eat it too, right? We are earning that nice distribution and we are getting that move up on the price. And I'm just super excited, right? Love to see it, even if it does pull back, right? I love to see the fact that these YieldMax ETFs can indeed capture that move up, that the underlying is moving up, because that is what we want to see. Now, another one that did pop today, and it must be off of these chips, right? Because SMCY had a nice pop up as well. And here we are on SMCY. Look at this. That is beautiful, right? We closed yesterday at $5.83. And we opened today at $6.37 before closing at $6.95. What a move on SMCY. Now, I would love to see SMCY keep on going because I need it to get above my real price per share. And speaking of my real price per share, I wonder if this pop-up actually went above my real price per share. Because if it did, that means that red cell that we were looking at the other day will be green, right? If that price is indeed above my real price per share, that cell on that worksheet should be green. So now I've got to look to find out. Woohoo! Check it out. All right, look at this. SMCY, here we are right there. My real price per share of $6.46. And that market price being $6.95. That means I am indeed below that market price, so it is now green. ULTY's still hanging strong, right? My real price per share of $31.43 is still under that market price of $31.94. So that one is still green. So the only ones that I'm down on now is still CONY and HOOY. Those are the two that I'm still down on currently, but after that, the rest of them are indeed green. Now, that doesn't mean my work is over. That just means that I now am in profit for all of these ones that are green, but I have to continue to lower that real price per share because we all know that these ETFs do fluctuate quite a bit, right? We're having a nice jump up on some of these, and I'll take it. But I'm also going to take advantage of that and continue to lower that real price per share so that if that price drops back down to where it was before, I could still be under that price because I'm capturing those distributions to help me to lower my real price per share. Now, had I bought some shares when it did drop below 10 on that RSI 2, then I would have even more of a buffer between that market price and my real price per share, which provides me with additional downside protection. And do also notice that the gains have popped up, right? I'm now sitting at $23,400. And that is if I did sell out of all 15 of my high yield ETFs at that current market price. I would clear $23,400. Not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. But of course, now that SMCY is green, that means that I cannot buy more shares without it affecting that real price per share and causing it to increase. I do not want it to increase. So the way it sits right now, I'm only going to be looking to possibly buy CONY and HOOY if that RSI 2 does drop below 10. If it does, I can buy some shares to help lower that real price per share. But until then, I'll just be patient and wait it out. If you want a copy of this high yield ETF spreadsheet, come on over, join my Discord where you can get a copy of this to be able to track your own high yield ETFs. Because if you are not tracking that real price per share like I'm showing in my chart here, then how do you know where you really set in each of your positions? But with my sheet, it does take into account those distributions and helps to create what that real price per share actually is. So super excited about that pop up on SMCY. But since we're also looking at CONY and HOOY for possible buys, let's take a look to see if that RSI 2 is below 10 or not. And for CONY, we are somewhat trading sideways, right? You can see that it did close yesterday at 27.38 and we're sitting at 27.37. It's pretty much trading sideways, and that RSI 2 shows pretty much that exact thing, right? It's sideways, meaning that it's pretty much just trading sideways. So currently it is not a buy point for me yet. I need this RSI 2, which is this yellow line, to drop below this 10. Now, if it drops below 10, then that could be a good purchase point for me. And for HOOY, you can see it is still moving up. It has higher highs and higher lows. So therefore, we are on a bit of a trend up. And that RSI 2 does show that as well, as it is increasing. So it too is not the right time to buy. So I will hold off on a purchase on HOOY and CONY. Now, ULTY did end up going green. So that means that that current price is above my real price per share. But let's just take a look at that. And you can see here, we are still green and moving up on ULTY, even though the close of today was pretty much the close of yesterday. And you can see that RSI 2, there's not much change between yesterday and today. I need that RSI 2 to drop below 10 before I would even consider purchasing more shares. And that would be only if that share price was under my real price per share, so that it helps to lower that real price per share. So I don't know about you, but I'm just super excited about AMDY and SMCY. More AMDY than SMCY, of course, just because AMD has been on a rocket ship and AMDY is not getting left behind. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button and smash the like button, as it would be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, Legend out.